Hello, hello, we are live. Welcome to Cooking with Chef Frank. My name is Frank Kramer. I am your host, and I'm also the founder of Eat Like a Vegan Chef. Welcome to our 80th episode. And in today's episode, we are going to prepare stuffed bell peppers with eggplant, farro, and marinara sauce. So I hope you're going to enjoy this live stream. Um, if you're watching this on YouTube, if you like it, it would be great if you would give it a thumbs up and follow my channel. That's much appreciated. Um, During the live stream, I'd be happy to answer any kind of questions you have. And let's start. Before I start, please, if you could say just hello so I know you're there. It's always nice to talk to an audience. Thank you. Okay. Um, Great. So today's recipe is a very simple recipe, but I think it's a beautiful one because stuffed bell peppers are a favorite of my vegetables, and when I fill them, I feel it's something that fills the plate, that makes a nice presentation, and yeah. Let's get to it. Again, currently we are in our second week of our challenge. I hope some of you are taking the challenge, and let me know how is it going. We actually will feature this dish in next week's meal plan. So you will get to see the recipe for that. It will be in the meal plan, and I will also publish it on my blog as soon as I have the time to it. Um, yes, okay, great. So for everyone who just joined, I'm going to cook stuffed bell peppers with eggplant and farro and marinara sauce. Um, if you have any questions, feel free to post them here. I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. Okay, let's get to it. I'm going to switch my camera in a moment, but before I start, I wanted to make sure that I show you this. I used three color bell peppers. So basically, I cleaned out the inside. I cut off the top. I removed the trunk from here. So it's basically that's what you got. And in a minute, I'm going to start sauteing my vegetables, which my vegetables are eggplant, onions, garlic, celery, tomatoes, and kidney beans, and of course, farro. And so I'm going to start with those vegetables first. Obviously, as usual, it's always oil-free. Yes, Charlotte, that's a good question. Can I substitute quinoa for farro? Absolutely, you can. Um, that's absolutely no problem. It actually fits very, very well for this recipe. Good. Okay, let me switch my camera so you can see what I do. Okay, good. So I cooked the farro already earlier on. Um, I cooked about 1.5 cup of farro mixed with 3 cups of water. Okay, let me switch my microphone to the stove. Okay, so I'm going to turn on my pan to high heat. And I always have water handy. remember, we only cook with water. These recipes are all whole food plant-based, so they don't include oil. So we're going to start sauteing our onions and garlic. This was a rather small onion, but the recipe calls for a medium-sized onion and 3 garlic cloves. So as you can see, I don't have oil in here. Onions have a good amount of onion oil, which prevents them from burning right away. But as soon as they get stuck to the pan, we add a little bit of water to it. Keep in mind, we only add literally a tiny little bit of water, tiny little bit. As you can see, I'm waiting until I see the onions starting to stick to the pan. Okay. So now we can add just a little bit. That's it. We don't want to give too much water because we don't want the vegetables to steam. If we want it steam, we put it in a steamer. But here it's just to loosen the vegetables from the pan. So now we're going to add about half an eggplant, or a small eggplant. Actually, you know what? This was rather a large eggplant, but my recipe calls for a medium eggplant. They taste much better than the large eggplants. And as you can see, this was an eggplant that really needed to be used. It's you know, not the best type of eggplant, but that's okay, we can use it. When you look for eggplants, you want to make sure that eggplants are shiny in color, black, that they are really tight and you know, a beautiful appearance have. They're not soft, they're not spongy, they are firm to the touch, and they're white inside. This is not particularly white inside anymore, but we can still use it. Okay, now we're going to add a little bit water. Eggplant, as you know, absorb a lot of liquid. So what you can do is what many cooks do is add salt or sprinkle salt on the eggplant first. That will draw out the liquid. I don't like to do it because it also draw out the nutrients. Okay. I just see that some of you have issues with Facebook. You can hop over to my YouTube account, Eat Like a Vegan Chef on YouTube. Um, Usually the videos on YouTube are much better than on Facebook. Don't ask me why, but I made the experience that YouTube has a much better performance when it comes to videos. This is too big. Okay, so we want to make sure that we keep our pan clean. You see it's starting to brown here. We add a little bit of water, maybe a little bit more. and then we'll scrape off the residue. I call it to clean my pan because it should be shiny at all times. You want the caramelization to start, but then we want to scrape it off so that the flavors stay in the food and not in the pan. Okay, so now we are halfway there. We're going to add our celery, about half a cup, for a cup of tomatoes. I used grape tomatoes and cut them in pieces. You can use whatever it's available. Right now, obviously, there's only grape or cherry tomatoes available because they are grown in a greenhouse. Okay, so now is the time to add spices, about a teaspoon of basil. If you have fresh basil, that's great. About 12 leaves, or a teaspoon of dry basil. A teaspoon of oregano, and a half a teaspoon of cumin. And if you cook with salt a little bit, okay, so we're gonna incorporate everything. In the meanwhile, I'm turning on the oven. 350 degrees. And again, I make sure that nothing sticks on the pan, on the bottom of the pan. Can everyone hear me okay? Could give me a quick yes in the comments. Okay, for everyone who just joined, we are going to make stuffed bell peppers with eggplant, farro, and marinara sauce. Okay. Now it's time to add our beans. This is a whole can. Why not? Put the whole can in. A little bit of water. You can use black beans, any type of beans you like. I use kidney beans. I prefer to cook with black beans actually more often because black beans have a similar protein like I call it collagen. Since we don't get animal products, we don't eat collagen, but collagen is obviously good for our skin. Since we don't eat animal products, we want to eat more often the protein profile of collagen, which is tofu or black beans. So black beans is ideal. So we want to make sure that we get a good amount of black beans in our diet. Very important. So we're going to, in this case, of course, it's kidney beans. But I wanted to mention this, that black beans are just as good, or I would say almost better. Okay, so we're almost there. I'm gonna taste it. A little bit of salt. Okay. That's about it. Okay. Now we're going to add our farro. Turn off the heat. Okay. Taste it one more time. We don't want the mixture too liquid, so good. It's perfect. So now we're going to start to fill our eggplant. I'm sorry, our peppers. The oven is ready. I'm going to. So in order to have our peppers standing up properly, I'm going to cut just this little piece here. This will make sure that they can stand up like this. Okay. Just a tiny little bit here too. Just a little bit. We want to make sure that our peppers cook upright so they don't fall. Looks better, it's more appetizing. Just cutting off a little bit of the bottom. So now we're going to fill them. I'm going to stuff them. Just press it down a little bit. And it's okay if you have a little mountain in here, so to speak. It's okay. Good. So this is good. This is the next one. A bit more. We just want to make sure they're clean on the sides. Okay. Just press it in with a spoon. A bit more. You see how, can you see them actually? Yeah. They're standing up nicely in the pan. So this recipe is good for 5 peppers. I have only 4. Actually, I could use 1 more. Okay. Take one out. I'm cutting off, as you can see. You can use a smaller knife, obviously. Clean it, rinse it out. I'm going to cut off this little green strunk. Wash out, rinse out the pepper, and that's it. Shell it. So I originally thought it would be only 4 peppers, but as you know, very often I put recipes together and test them out in our live cooking sessions. So sometimes it could be a little off, but I will address it in my recipe that I post in the library. Okay, so you see I didn't cut the bottom, and it's not going to stain. This, perfect. Okay, so now we're going to add a little bit of water. So that our peppers don't burn. And of course, we cannot forget our tops, because that would make them complete. This here. Trying to fix it the way they came. Yep. Green one. And the yellow one. Nope. Good. Okay, so now it goes in the oven. I'm going to switch my camera quickly. Oops, wrong one. Okay, so now we're going to put it in the oven, just like this. Okay, put a little bit of water in here, as you can see. and I'm gonna put it for about 25 minutes. And in the meanwhile, we're gonna talk about challenge, and I'm going to present to you one pepper the way I would serve it. See, see. Okay, good. So if anyone has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. I'm going to show you in just a minute how to plate them. Let me see if there's any questions here. A lot of familiar names here. Welcome everyone, welcome. Glad you're here. Thank you for joining me for our stuffed bell peppers. Good. So the bell pepper is going to stay in the oven for about 25 minutes, or until the bell peppers have been cooked properly. You can see that they are nice, soft, tender. The vegetable mixture is obviously cooked already, so you don't have to worry about that. We only worry about the peppers to be cooked properly. And the beauty is when you cook the peppers, some of the juices and flavors of the peppers actually go into the vegetables, so the vegetables itself take on the flavor of the peppers. If we don't like eggplants, what else can we use? Absolutely. You can use any vegetable you like. You can use zucchini, you can use mushrooms. Um, there's literally the sky's the limit of what kind of vegetables you can use. Um, this is just one option you can do with peppers. Sorry, bell peppers, eggplant. Sorry, you can use um, you can use broccoli, you can use cauliflower, you can use cabbage, you can use just beans and cabbage. Absolutely incredible. You can use many of my vegetable stews you can use in order to fill your peppers. Um, so there's it's not really that important that I used eggplant, then more like that you get a mixture that is fairly dry. So that's important. You want to make sure that you see here, this is the mixture I used. Um, it's fairly dry. You don't want it too wet, then because you actually get a little bit of juice of the peppers as well. So you don't want it too liquid in there, and you want the vegetable mixture, the filling, to be packed. And when you slice through the peppers, you really have a nice filling in there that doesn't go everywhere on your plate. Um, Thanks, Adriana. What temperature did you set the oven? 350 degrees. What brand of wok did I use? I didn't use a wok. This is all clad pans. You can use any pan you like. I just don't like Teflon pans because when they scratch, the heavy metals go leach into the food. So that's why I don't use those pans. But you can use literally any pan you like. Um, let's see if there's any other questions. Yeah, it's very simple. You can cut the bottom of the eggplant so they stand up nicely. Because in the end, you want to have you know a nice meal that also speaks to the eye. You know what? I'm gonna cheat a little bit, take one of the peppers out. I'm gonna show you how to plate it. Okay? I want to have a little bit for decoration. This is beautiful. A little pepper. Oh, sorry, little celery. Okay. So now we're going to, I already made my marinara sauce, so I'm going to pour this right in the center of the plate. And you can actually add sauteed spinach, kale, or any other green vegetables that would be perfect to make this meal even more nutritious. So I don't have any sauteed spinach or kale here, but that would be an option to complement the meal. So now this, I'm going to pretend that the peppers are ready, which they're not. But which one we're going to do? Yellow, orange. Yeah, let's take this. Okay, that is huge. So you can tell that these were very large peppers, and it's indeed a very large portion. But you have a good appetite, that's not a problem. And that's it. Very simple. Okay, and it gives you a little bit uh, elegant touch to your dinner, and it's something that the family can look forward to. You can add any kind of starches to it. I mean, there's enough starch in here, not that you need more. You could eat some boiled potatoes to it if you like, or sweet potatoes. But I would definitely recommend adding some spinach, some sauteed spinach. That is perfect, and that would make this dish complete. Um, you know, before we cheat a little bit here, I'm going to make a picture of it, so I can post it later. Good. Okay. That's it. I'm going to put this back in the oven because I don't want to keep you too long, because I know they're going to take another 15-20 minutes minimum. Okay, and that concludes our stuffed bell pepper. If anyone would like to talk about the challenge, we can do this here. If you have any questions, um, thank you everyone for your compliments. Thank you. I mean, I'm. This is a very simple dish, and everyone can do it. You can do it. Everyone can do it. Okay, so let's see. The challenge, we are in our second week. Next week, we're going to go in our third week of the challenge. I hope everyone has a good time. I hope you are, you're on your way to reach your target weight loss. Um, we'll have sessions in between where I talk about Q&A sessions. Sunday, I'm going to go cooking with our batch cooking. We'll cook 1 or 2 meals out of the meal plan for next week, and and then we'll talk more about the challenge. Okay, Alan is asking, did I blanch the peppers? I did not. You can blanch the peppers. I prefer to put it in the oven so that uh, that none of the nutrients leach out. You could bake the peppers before but then you don't have the filling, and your pepper's gonna get shriveled, and it just doesn't look as nice. So I prefer to fill the peppers first and then put it in the oven because they don't take that long. Okay. Um, yeah, I would say that's it for me for today. If you like this presentation, and if you're on YouTube, give it a thumbs up. If you don't mind, follow my channel. That helps me grow my YouTube channel. Um, Thank you so much, everyone. I'm happy that you joined me today, and I hope to see you throughout the week. Well, I'll be definitely live again. Oh, before I forget, we have our guest speaker tomorrow, Friday, January 21st. Kimberly, she is a fitness coach. You don't want to miss this. She's talking about um, how to reverse pain, in your muscles and in your bones. Everyone has pain, and in certain areas. She's a coach who can help you get rid of those pains. She's a certified fitness coach. It's going to be an awesome conversation tomorrow, 8 o'clock p.m. on YouTube or Facebook, just like this one. And have a great day. And as usual, if you need any information, you can find me at eatlikeaveganchef.com. That's my website, or you can find me on Facebook, YouTube, uh, Twitter, and Instagram. Have a great day, everyone. Be safe and think plant based.